Thanks to all of you for being here today. Welcome to King County's King Street Center. This is the headquarters of our Metro Transit, as well as many other agencies. I'm joined by the Director of Public Health, Seattle and King County, Patty Hayes, and our Public Health Officer, Jeff Duchin. I'm King County Executive Dow Constantine. I want to start by expressing our sympathies, our condolences to those who've lost loved ones. Many of us now know families directly who've been affected by the coronavirus, and we want to express our concern for those who have confirmed cases and are recovering. I also very much want to thank Governor Inslee for his leadership and for taking strong, decisive steps to help stem the outbreak. As Governor Inslee outlined, the state and the counties and cities have been talking and cooperating and arriving with the guidance of public health officials at what we believe is the best set of steps to try to slow the spread of the virus at this time. And he, therefore, has ordered the prohibition of gatherings of more than 250 people. But we also agreed that gatherings smaller than that should not happen unless very clear public health recommended steps are taken. Therefore, our public health officer, Jeff Duchin, will be signing an order that prohibits smaller events of 250 people or less unless they meet public health guidelines to ensure social distancing, adequate sanitation, regular health checks of employees, and other measures designed to prevent the virus from being transmitted. Now, to be sure, ordering the cancellation of community events is an extraordinary measure, one made in a fluid situation in which new information comes to light hourly. I've connected with the leadership of our professional sports teams, our businesses, large and small, as well as leaders of our represented workforce. And they understand that we must do everything we can together to protect our community. Temporarily banning social and recreational gatherings that bring people together will help ensure that a health crisis does not become a humanitarian disaster by working to preserve the limited capacity of the county's health care system. The governor mentioned this, and this is the core critical challenge: to delay the spread of disease, to reduce the peak number of people infected in order not to exceed the capacity of the healthcare system. That is a responsibility of every institution and of every one of us individually. We are seeking to take a targeted approach that still recognizes that it can be safe and it is vitally important for our economy to function. Business can and must continue. Restaurants, retail, music, arts, culture, movie theaters can and should continue if they are able to meet these criteria, the criteria that can be shown to dramatically reduce the transmission of disease and keep people safe. Our public health staff, our medical experts, drive our decisions, using established and emerging science and data as our guides. As policymakers, we have to continue to ask ourselves if we're taking the most appropriate measures to meet the crisis. Well, today's actions will help relieve the strain on our hospital system. They'll provide people with options to keep their families safe and to keep the rest of the community safe from harm. You know, epidemiologists tell us that left unmitigated, the number of people with this infection roughly doubles every 5 to 7 days, and possibly quicker during this period in the disease's evolution. That fact underscores the urgency with which we are implementing these community mitigation measures, as well as purchasing, siting, and setting up locations, places for people to recover and to isolate themselves so that they don't inadvertently infect their families or others in the community. I want to thank Governor Inslee. I want to thank Mayor Durkin, the executives of our neighboring counties and all the mayors and our public health officials for uniting to tackle this shared challenge. and keep our people safe. I also want to thank leadership from the business community. The governor mentioned this, but our business leaders have been absolutely tremendous in embracing public health recommendations and not merely complying, but finding ways that they are able to make their workforce and our public safer, and going beyond that. For employers like Microsoft to ensure that hourly workers will be paid even if they are not currently needed at the Microsoft campus so that they are able to continue to care for their families and keep a roof over their head. Those are the kinds of forward-looking measures that we need from all leaders, public and private, in our community. They understand, as do the elected officials in this room, that we are all in this together, and that their leadership is critical to helping get our community through this. We must take time to be sure we get this right, but we have to, at the same time, act with urgency and leave no one behind. Thank you so much for joining us here today.